Hello and welcome to the skating lesson. I'm Jennifer Kirk.
And I'm Dave Lees. Ciao, Bella! Today we are super excited to speak with the five-time Italian national champion, Ms. Valentina Marchei. She's recently the current reigning national champion for Italy in pairs with Ondrej Hotarek. I know we are very excited to speak with her. We love those pair girls on TSL, Jenny.
We do, and we're so excited to see her next week when we travel to Montreal, the pair mecca. But we love Valentina as a single skater. Last season...
Excited and nervous to see some of these pair girls in Montreal.
Can't wait. We'll bring the grit. But I mean, Valentina last season, we love that long program. If ever there were a skater who brought the sex, it is Valentina. So we want to talk to her about that, how to be saucy and sultry on the ice, and what it's like transitioning from a really strong single career to now skating pairs. I mean, she's not 19 years old, so how has this transition been? Can't wait to talk to her.
Yeah, and I'm super excited. We need to dig into some of Valentina's personal life. There's a picture of her being hugged by Brian Joubert. There's a hashtag that says, "My ex-boyfriend always had a hard time letting me go." We need to get into it with Valentina and just find out all of the details. We hear that she is very chatty, a very chatty, saucy girl, so we can't wait to speak to her about all of this. And just note that there is a costume change because we thought it was only important. Like Cher, we need multiple costume changes per show. Actually, this is filmed over 2 parts. We are improvising for you. We are making it work, as Tim Gunn says. We hope that you're as excited for this interview as we are. All right, well, Valentina, welcome to the skating lesson. We are thrilled to have you. This has been like a year and a half in the making. I've never had a boyfriend string me along this much, so we are very excited to have you on the skating lesson.
Welcome to the Italian way.
Yes.
I love it.
Well, let's discuss this Italian way because New Year's 2013, 2014, I got a picture from Valentina at midnight that I thought was just for me. And then like minutes later, it was on her Instagram. So Valentina, I think that you do have an Italian way with men that we need to learn about.
What is this picture? I'm like...
You sent me a picture at midnight and you were like standing in this dress against a door and your arms were out. And there was all sorts of things.
Are you sure it was me and it was like somebody stalking me?
I don't know, Valentina.
I feel like you're like cool enough that you do have stalkers.
Because I don't think I have Instagram since 2013. Yeah.
It might have been on Twitter. It definitely showed up on
social media. We'll find the picture and we'll insert it here.
Yeah, please.
Well, we also heard that yesterday you went to a vegan brunch with our girl Jillian. So what did you two order? What do we need to be eating?
So yeah, it was so much needed Jillian time yesterday. I love to spend time with her. Yeah.
What do you guys talk about?
But everything. Like, we're not like that skating.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, Jillian
I'm not that type.
Jillian was watching Skate Detroit all weekend. Like, she was watching all of the skaters.
Well, but because all of the skaters, also because like some of our teammates like were in there. So I mean, we practice with them, and I live with Marissa, so we were like curious too to see what they were doing, and of course cheering. But yeah, no, we talk about everything, life and shopping together, and
all that good stuff.
And what did I order? I think I ordered banana bread French toast.
Was it good?
It wasn't too vegan though.
But it was delicious, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, because I had a brunch the day before and I had like eggs and wheat bread, so I was like, I'll go with the sweet today.
Balance. It's all about balance.
Yeah, and then a huge fruit bowl. That's what I ate.
Very good.
And I guess Jillian got oatmeal with fruit. Okay. And then yeah, so
not as fun.
No, it was not. It was really, really good because this apparently was one of the best vegan vegetarian brunches place in Montreal for non-vegetarian.
Maybe we should go, Dave, when we come.
Yes.
You should ask her to bring you.
Well, no, Jillian is having dinner. We're having dinner at Jillian's house.
Oh, we are? Oh, I'm so excited.
Jenny, you are so
I didn't know about this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm out of the loop.
Okay. So, Valentina, you need to explain this because we know you were very proud of being Italian. Now, how come Carolina Kostner seems like such a nice girl, but like you, Barbara Fusarpoli, Silvia Fontana, you have more spice to your personality, more fire. How come Carolina's not like the other Italian women that we like so much?
She is actually. She just don't show all the time. Like
she hides it well.
Yeah.
Yeah, she hides it. Like skating is different than like private life. So I not all of what you see of me skating is coming out, and not you don't see all of me in skating too.
So there's
So
more of you that we
it's
even.
like just different style and different type of people, but that doesn't mean that is not like the Italian way of doing things. So different, yeah.
But isn't she from like the German part of Italy? Someone was explaining to me that she's like from a part of Italy that's closer to Germany or something.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
Doesn't mean
No,
anything, Dave. Who cares?
no, no, it's
People
Italy.
are wrong,
Close
Alyssa.
to Germany, but it's Italy. I mean,
God, these
and even Canada is close to the US, but does it change?
No, like, I mean, a
well,
little,
the
Exactly. So
Canadians
it's the
are a
same.
little bit different.
they stab you in the front, we stab you in the back, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's the other way around, sorry.
The other way around. So we want to know why you are not competing singles this year, because we think that you should be the star of Italian skating. We miss you competing in singles. How come we haven't seen you compete anymore?
Because I'm not 16 anymore.
Okay.
So that means that the way of practice just changes, and I cannot over practice, and pairs can be very dangerous if you are tired, and so you need to be 100% present and lucid, and yeah, it's not that you can't be tired. Of course, like you get tired, but like it can get dangerous if you are very tired. Like when in single skating, like you can still manage. And yeah, so I couldn't work as many hours, and to get in shape during the Olympic season, I was skating like crazy and repeating like crazy. So it was a lot of work to handle, and it was impossible to do 100% both. So at some point you get to a decision, and the decision was to get down to this path that it was very unknown, but very exciting. And when I'm like this, I just go down that. And I was very convinced, and I loved every second of it, and I fell in love. And once you fall in love, it's hard. Although, yes, I miss my single career, but in a way that I miss all I had. There were like 20 years of a good career, and I would repeat every single step. And it's a chapter that closes, and a new chapter is starting, and started a year ago, and I don't regret anything of before, and I close it well, like the way I wanted to close it, as it started like from nowhere. And I was happy I did my career in a way where I could like say, okay, if I move on, I'm happy of what I did until now, and I am, yeah.
Okay. Well, you're known for being so flirty and sassy. So we wonder, did you ever think about doing ice dance? We think you would have been a fantastic ice dancer.
No.
No.
That's a way for saying like you were not a good jumper.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
no, that's not what we're saying. We're saying like you have that second mark, like oodles and oodles.
Because I think I was a good jumper, by the way. But anyway,
you were. We just
yes,
love
okay.
that sassy sex appeal.
Yes.
No, I never thought about ice dancing. No. I mean, I like to jump. I like to, the first thing I thought when we tried to skate together and we started to play around, it was like, but then all the lights are gonna be on both of us and not on me anymore.
We still watch you, honey.
So I think I was like made for being like a single skater, and dancing like if nobody's watching in front of the mirror. That's exactly what I did the past 3 years. So not caring like who was watching, but just like getting out whatever I needed to get out.
So why did it take you so long to do a flamenco program, Valentina? What were we waiting for with this number that you did during the Olympic year? I think that every program you should have done should have been a tango, something Spanish and fiery. What was taking so long?
What was taking so long? Well, I did tango music many times. Well,
Not on
that
the same level of intensity, Valentina. You
yeah,
brought
but like
energy.
that flamenco needed like a mature valley to be skated to,
Okay.
and before it wouldn't be the same thing.
Okay.
Like what Yuka and Roberto Campanella, who like helped to choreograph, took out of me in that program was a lot, because I remember like starting to cry in the middle of like the ice with them watching, being like, what is happening? And I'm just, this is just all Valley coming out right now. Like, can I? It really like touched me deep, 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 and they could get out what I never got out.
Yeah.
So I think I wasn't ready before, and they choose the right piece. Yuka chose that piece, and then we played with the versions. But it just seemed very perfect. That famous version, and no female skated to that. So we said like, why not? And I was a bit scared at the beginning because Kurt skated to it, and it was like the best program ever. It doesn't even jump into in that program if you watch it, and it just goes by in a second, and you can't get your eyes off of him. So I was afraid of like, the comparison between the two, but I'm a different level, a different type, and I'm a female. So we said, let's get out like the sensual one. We didn't want it to be vulgar, to like, but sexy in a way, not cheap way. Like sensual, not sexy. It's different. Okay. And that, like, every time like I watch the program, I still get chills. Because, for example, at the Olympic Games, I remember every single thought of that program, of the team event and of like the individual event, because I repeated so many times, and it really grew up with me. And I know what was the process to look at them like this, to do that like intro of 10 seconds pulling up the skirt, being like, at the beginning it was like, I would never do this in front of like the million people who are gonna watch us, because I'm shy, I don't do it. And
You need to teach us the skirt. This is what we want to learn. We have a dream. How do we do this? Like with the skirt, like how do we even get into this position, Valentina? Like we're so ready for this. Like how do we do it?
there just must be a one Valentina doing it. There can't be a Dave doing it.
Can you demonstrate for
Shade!
us? Can you demonstrate for us, Valentina?
I have pants on, so I can't.
Oh,
We'll have to just have the video play.
yeah.
Well, you are known for being so flirty, and you have the flirty lips and the face. So how much did you work on the facial expression, and what is the best shade of lipstick for the Olympics?
Red.
Red, like
I'm
bright
always going red, even in Milan. It doesn't have to be the Olympics.
It's always bright red for Valentina.
It's not very bright. It's not like the bright red, because my lips are not that like tiny lips, but they I don't know how to say it. English is not my first language, so
It was a blood red. Like,
so I cannot put it too bright, because otherwise I would look too much. Okay.
Like too much. So how did Yuka Sato choreographed your Naya program? How did it come out of Yuka? Because she seems so sweet. What was that process like working with her?
Well, she gave her 100% of herself into that program, and she was performing it to show me how it would have to be done, but saying like, this has to be yours. So when we choreographed it, it didn't have that spice. So at the beginning, it was just like, it looks just like not like one other program.
Yeah.
It doesn't look much. That's when the week of crying started, because that's when I had to be deep down into myself and then find that thing that was missing. But Yuka, it's very good actually on doing that. And that wasn't the first program she choreographed, because she did even the version of the pull-up dude that I had for exhibition. And I remember that I was in Canada doing exhibition with that number. She was amazing on creating that. She was amazing on like working with me in that. So it depends also on the person that you have in front of you. And we had a good connection and we were working very well together. So I guess the best got out because I was totally open to her and I gave her the possibility to work on that. I wasn't just saying like, okay, like let's work on this. No, she was the one convincing me I could do it before I would believe in that.
So who came up with the skirt pull?
I think Roberto came up with the skirt pull. Yeah, but it's all about the look in that skirt thing. Because like this, they don't concentrate too much down. They just concentrate into this.
You had quite the look at the end of the program too, always.
Yeah. And then the step sequence, I remember of that part because the step sequence like was starting from down to up. And that was like another part we worked a lot in that. But at the Olympics, I have the image in my head that I cannot say, of course. But to do that type of look because I had to deeply think of.
So there was someone special behind that look.
Because somebody would always tell me, not would always tell me, but at the Olympic Games someone told me, and I don't remember who, there was that person you were looking like on the crowd. It was that person, right? Don't even know what she's talking about or he was talking about because he wasn't that person, but I was deep into my like bubble that it was just my own thoughts and me. I'm not gonna say what it is.
Well, here at TSL, we need to discuss something because we do not support the wearing of gloves. Jenny really does not enjoy gloves. It's very Alexei Mishin. And you try to fake us out by doing the flesh-colored gloves, Valentina, which we also really do not support. So why are these so necessary? Because you are a beautiful girl. Why do we need the gloves?
It's a bad habit. It's just that. Like, I hate the feeling of like the ice on my like the slippery ice, like the wet hands like on me, and like when I fall, then it freezes almost. So I hate that. It's one of those things that like gives me chills. So I always wear gloves, but now with care, sometimes he's gonna tell you like I wear gloves, but not always because of course there are some things that you cannot wear them. It gets too slippery and like less comfy and less safe. So yeah, in competition, did you notice this year I didn't wear anything because not even those are too
black things over the front during.
Oh yeah, but because it was part of the
costume.
The costume, yeah.
Okay. Well, the 2014.
Sorry, I know, like I cannot be liked by you 100%. It wouldn't be right.
It's very hard. I don't think anybody's liked by Dave 100%. Keeping it real.
You're very close, Valentina. Don't worry.
Solid A. So the 2014 season was very successful for you. You did very well at Europeans and then at the Olympics. So how did you make sure that you peaked for that season?
Oh, like I follow always my guides. Like I do what my coaches plan and I follow what they tell me to do. So they were very good on planning how my season went. I have to say that after the Olympics, it was very, very hard to get back in track. So like worlds were very bad, but because like I had the feeling to skate like next to Valentina, not in Valentina. So I was landing the jumps because I was in shape, because there was still the adrenaline of the Olympic Games, but like you do as a automatic way of doing things, but you don't process anymore. So like worlds are to forget. But I think I peaked at the Olympic Games also because I had the chance to leave the Olympic Games from the first day to the last. Even before the first day, because it was planned already that if we would pass the round of the long programs in the team event, I would skate the long in the team event. So we had to go before the open ceremony. And then in the middle, I stayed in because Jason and Yuka would stay there because of the other competitions. So I had the chance to leave the atmosphere of the Olympic Games without charging myself too much, because I had 10 days before my competitions. So I charged myself with positive energy going to watch the competition. So I think like I was prepared, but also the last peak was like how happy I was, and, you know, serene and peaceful, and plus I finally qualified for the Olympic Games after like what, 8 years. So it was like I was dreaming and knowing what I would do in that competition since 8 years. So if I would fail that, it would be bad because I didn't make the Turin selection. I didn't make the Vancouver selection. And then I knew that I wouldn't, it could happen that I wouldn't make it like the Sochi selection. Not because, you know, you never know what can happen in injury, or you bail completely the competition, nationals or whatever. So at the end it was like, okay, I heard this. I'm getting ready for this since 8 years. So I'm ready for this. So I remember watching myself before the last long program in front of the mirror, being like, you know how to do this. You don't screw this up.
Don't screw this up. I like that.
Seeing like Valley 1 talking with Valley 2, being like, I'm going to win this. You two shut up. So, of course, I wasn't talking to myself like alone, but it would be just like, stop.
Yeah, stop all the negative talks. Yeah.
So yeah, it was
of dual.
What?
Well, speaking about dual persons, when you were at Detroit Skating Club, you and Alyssa Sisney looked a lot alike each other, sometimes with your costumes. It was like the movie Black Swan, where she looked like Natalie Portman and you were Mila Kunis. So do you think of yourself as more of a Black Swan type?
No, at all. Because I don't think we were white and Black Swan. We were like really good friends, and we are still very good friends. She was really calming me down. She was one of the reasons why I choose Detroit, because I was completely in 2011. I got injured in at the Europeans in Bern, and it was a period where we were traveling a lot, and I got really like bad injuries, knee and ankle. So I had to stay off the ice for almost 5 months, 4 months and a half. So when I got back on the ice, I really didn't have the spark I had before. And I remember I was skating in Milan. So Franca has always been my second coach when I was like away. When I was skating with Nikolai, when I was skating in Detroit. Well, now she's our first coach. But she was just like, I don't want you to give up on this, because you still can do something. Like, I'm here. Like attach yourself to me if you need like not advice, but like to get your spark back. Like you need to change something. You need to. I already at that time like already decided to not skate with Nikolai anymore. So I was like coach free. And so I had to think where I would want it to go, what I would want it to do with my future, and which direction I would take. And so I thought about the story of Alyssa. And I said, well, they could do that to Alyssa. So I think in the same way, not the same way, of course, like everybody has different paths, but they can help me in this, because they already have been through like a sort of situation like this. So there was instant connection between the two of us, and I absolutely love her. So we're really not the opposite. Yeah. We really complete much each other. And of course, when I was there, we were like spending more time and chatting way more than how it is now, because also the jet lag doesn't help. And then know how it is when you don't live anymore in a place, you don't lose connection, but she's always the one like writing and asking how it is and writing back and engaging. So no, we were not white and black, but I learned a lot seriously a lot from her, and I don't know if I got some of her moves. I wish, like the spins, I tried my best, but it never happened.
Well, Valentina, you're known for having one of the best triplettes in the business. So what is the key to your triplets? You have that great outside edge.
Good technique, I guess. They
okay.
taught me. No, well,
taught you your good technique, Valentina.
it's not that you invent it like this. The key is always good guides, like good coaches, and it changed a lot because, of course, I had different coaches, but I learned it in Italy with my previous coach, and then Nikolai went through with like a slightly different technique, and then I think with Jason Yuka and Franca Bianconi, I got like the technique who made it solid. So secret, stay straight. Always stay as tall as you can, and then don't toe too far, and that's it.
Okay, so tall and don't tilt too far.
Well, despite your amazing lutz, we often saw you struggle sometimes with doing 2 of them in a program. So what is the challenge with the second one? Is it the entrance? Because you would try all different things, putting your leg back when you're going into your lutz. We saw you do a lot of complicated things. So what is the struggle with the second lutz?
I think it's any type of struggle that anybody has in the second part of the program. So,
being tired.
Yeah, being tired. So sometimes you just have to go and you forget about the keyword to go into it. But I think it was pretty strong the last season.
You did it at the Olympics like that, Valentina. That second lutz was nailed, better than the first. So
trust me, the Olympic performance, I dreamt it for so many years that seriously, I didn't allow myself to miss anything. I think I was so pissed for that last sal that I missed in the individual event, the last jump, but it was like, oh well.
Stays with you. But you have such a good lutz, and then we've seen you struggle on the triple flip. So why the struggles on the flip? Because usually it's the other way around for skitters.
Edge, the flip.
Okay, the inside edge is more difficult for you.
Is now doing pairs when you do throws, like I kind of start to understand the inside and the outside of the jumps.
You're learning your edges now.
But no, the struggle of the flip was never my best friend, the flip. But even there, it was enough consistent because I had Jason and Yuka helped me on the little things. We started from 0 when I went to them in 2011, and I remember that summer not even landing a jump, and then going back to single jumps to double jumps, and making it very strong as basics. So we worked on the edge. It wasn't coming too often, but still the flip was enough consistent.
Well, in addition to gloves, Jenny's other biggest pet peeve is the double sow cow, single toe combination. Whenever there's a 3-jump combo.
I always say leave your single toe at home, people. Don't bring it to the Olympics.
Valentina, you are.
Would you prefer -3 plus a -1 for fall?
No, I would just prefer just not even doing the single. Let's just see the double.
Yeah, but then sometimes you are obliged, because if you already did a triple sal and then you do a second one, you're obliged to do a toe, a sort of combo. So you are obliged to put there.
How about a nice toe axle, though? I mean, you could do the toe axle. If you can do a single toe, you can throw in that one more rotation. My argument.
I'm not very good on cheating that much on the toe.
Okay. So the single
Not like you, Jenny, apparently. So
I enjoyed the toe axle. I like cheating.
I don't think I ever tried the toe axle, though.
Maybe I could teach you. I was really good at it when I was a pre-juvenile.
What about the triple loop, Valentina? Where has that been? You and Marissa don't like that jump so much.
Me not speak English when you talk about loop.
We don't know anything about loop. Next.
Loop. Well, the biggest accomplishment in pair was landing a throw triple loop. And then when I landed one, it was now I know what it feels like to land a loop. It wasn't my favorite jump. Definitely flip was way better than the loop. Okay. Loop, I landed it. Yes, I did land it. A couple. Well, maybe more than a couple, but never enough consistent to put it in a program. And actually, I don't think even my partner was like a huge fan of the triple loop. Then Manon came for a camp last year in June or May at our rink, in May probably, and we worked with her as like assistant and showing, and we both were not able to do the loop. I'm still not able to do the loop. He learns loop like easily. He kind of learned the loop back like 1 year ago. So no, I'm better doing throw loop than
on your. You just need a little bit of assistance. It happens.
Yeah. I think on turning that hips that don't really turn by themselves when I do it by myself.
Well, earlier in your career, you moved to train in Hackensack with Nikolai Morozov with quite the cast of characters at that rink. I think if we could go back in time and just put some reality show cameras in there, it would be fun for everyone. So how did you wind up training with Nikolai?
How did I end up training with him?
Yeah, how did it come about?
Well,
you were a young Italian girl. How did you come to America?
Like in our team, like in our rink in Milan, there's Walter Rizzo, who's like a dance coach, right? And he was like our stroking class teacher, and he was helping me with my programs and make them like fluid and everything. And he's a good friend of Nikolai, and I think he's still a good friend of Nikolai. And so we went that year. Then I decided to move in September 2008. So in June 2008, I think we went there to do a program. Actually, it was like an old program, and we just wanted it something different. So for him not to change it completely, but to give his touch. And I liked it a lot to work with him. And there were like 2 intense weeks because we were working like 8 or 9 hours on the ice. And so I had like that summer was a struggling summer home, and I knew I needed something different. And so I guess since I felt good with Nikolai, I decided to go there. And I would have anyways to go back in September to clean up the program that he did after the work of the summer to see if everything was still good or we needed other touches. And I left there and I stayed there.
What was Nikolai like as a coach? How would you describe him as a coach?
Very Russian, of course. So,
what does that mean, Valentina?
Yeah, let's read between the lines there.
Very strict, and we were working a lot of hours on the ice. Sometimes during the period when we were putting on the programs, we were even working in the middle of the night. But like a group of us would be like, I have pictures of like a 2 a.m. training or 3 a.m. training. Yeah, stuff like this. But then we wouldn't skate in the day. Like we would like rest the day to know that at 11 p.m. we would be at the rink. Like to have clean ice and to have like not free ice in terms of like pain, but like just for us, ice just for us. Like this he could create, and we would do shifts like this. But this is not something that, you know, I found myself complaining about, because that was working and it was a good work. So as soon as far as like the coach is professional, then you do it. And we were traveling a lot. That's at the end of the day what it made me, you know, decide to also like change again. But then I was injured. So in the period I was injured, I decided like I needed again something different, that my time with him was enough and I got enough. And it really ended very well, because when I called him to tell him like that we wouldn't work anymore together, he always said like, if you think it's not I'm not enough, or I'm not anymore what you need, then you should go somewhere else. I'm here if you need, and call and whatever. So
it
was also like sometimes to choose the music, it would make me do the short program over and over and change, like every time change the music to see what would be like the perfect match for me. So I remember that day doing like the short program probably eight times.
Oh my gosh, to get it right. Well, like Dave said earlier, Valentina, it was quite the cast of characters that were training in Hackensack at that time. Was it as interesting as we think it was? I mean, we've heard some stories.
Come on. Get down to question. What do you want to know?
How did everybody get along? Like, what was the dynamic? I mean, were there like fights? Like, what was it like just training with all these different personalities?
As in every like group, of course. No, there were not fights, but
Valentina, there were a lot of ice dancers.
it was one coach with like high level skaters from very high to like base level. So we were following him like everywhere. When here we lived in like in the summer in Latvia because we would have to go back to Moscow and there were like that period where there was fire and smoke because it was very hot, so we couldn't stay in Moscow. We find like a second base, which was like Latvia. We lived like for 3 months in a hotel, but it was like the best like atmosphere ever because it's a beautiful country and we had public watching us every day at practice, and it was me, Javi, Florent, Miki, Sergei Voronov, and then we had like Kudryavtsev that sometimes would come and help, which I loved because even when I was like in Italy, I would do the camps in Flims in Switzerland with Kudryavtsev for the technique. So it's not easy to manage like high level performancers that at the same time when you are alone. So of course there were like days of tense and what it could be. I mean, I never really fought with him. I always like be like, okay, I'll do whatever you tell me to do because that's how it is. Like if I go to a coach, I fully trust a coach, so I don't question what he makes me do. Of course, when I'm tired after 8 short programs, I would say, okay,
we're done.
Okay, now I'm done. But we would do, even in shows, he would make me do as first number the short program, as second number the long program. And I remember that day being like scared to death to do that show in Latvia. And he would just open the door of the dressing room and be like, have fun, guys, closing the door and opening the door again and skate clean. And then you just be like, okay.
And don't mess up.
I just have a short and a long to do, but I did skate clean both programs, I guess. Probably just popping a double axel, which in the long.
It's forgiven.
Well, we like to have a little fun here, so we want to have a segment called Chatting at the Boards with Valentina because we heard that you're very fun to talk to during training. So,
oh yeah, from whom? Come on.
You know what? That doesn't matter, Valentina. You know, people are sworn to secrecy. So, one thing I noticed on your Instagram, there's a picture of Ondrej lifting you up in front of a crowd of people. It looks like you're at a big concert or something in Italy. What is this? It looks like you're on stage.
I'm to see what it is.
It might be on your Facebook. You're like lifted up. There's like a sea of people, and you're doing some sort of a lift.
Oh, that is not Ondrej, actually.
Oh, what guy is this?
No, because I'm ambassador of the Color Run Italy. So, so because my sponsor is one of the sponsors of the run, so the happiest 5Ks in the world, 5K in the world is called. But I guess there's in the US too.
Yeah.
And that is the guy with whom I share the stage when there's our moment on the stage during the Color Run. And yeah, and he's a trainer, a personal trainer, and he sort of figured out how to lift me up, and that it was a good picture because there were like 25,000 people like in front of us, and when it's happening again.
Well, speaking of photos, we've seen some photos of you circa 2012, 2013 with a shirtless Brian Joubert looking quite cozy. So true or false, did you guys date?
Now? No.
Back then?
Back then.
Not now, but...
Of the picture that I know David sent me, no. But we did date from quite a long time. Yes, 2008. Yeah. But it was a back and forth, but we did date. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if in the meantime he dated other people, but it was.
We don't need to know. Of course not. You're the only woman for any man, Valentina. They don't need anybody else. Just you.
No. Apart from the jokes. No, yeah, we dated back then, but it's I guess a known thing. Like
Well, now it's known.
Yeah.
Now it's known.
Well, you are
Enjoy
also
the news.
Breaking news here on TSL.
Expecting more spicy questions about Nikolai Dave. You disappoint me.
what would you like us to ask about?
Is there
Nikolai?
something you would like to share
Yes.
about your relationship with Nikolai?
No, but I would.
Or other
usually,
women's relationships with Nikolai?
I could tell your questions, but this time I was wrong.
Oh.
I was so sure with Marisa you would ask one thing, or you wouldn't ask, or you let me say, but I don't.
Well, we can let you say it now.
Yeah,
I feel like there's something that you're dying
yes.
to tell
What
us.
would you? Yes, tell us, Valentina, everything. I need to know.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
No, Valentina, look.
I'm not the. Okay.
Okay, next.
Oh, okay. I guess she'll just let Marissa be the better interviewee, but that's okay.
Shade.
It's okay.
That's all right, Valentina. We have to review your performances coming up, so I could be in a good mood that day or not. But anyway,
I told you already, Dave. I don't fear you.
that's good, Valentina. I might fear your
Neither
mother.
do I,
though.
Valentina.
You can even not like me. I will keep skating anyways.
That's good.
This is why we like you. We respect you.
Yeah. But you are friends with one of my favorite skaters, Ms. Natalie Pechelot. So what do we need to know about Natalie?
What do you need to know? What do you want to know? That's the question. But we are very close friends.
Fabian. What is your best fight story between her and Fabian on the rink?
We were not skating in the same rink. So we skated, but the dance teams in Detroit were skating probably at the same time in another rink. So in the same building, but in another rink. So I've not been there for many of their fights. But it's those fights that you have on the ice. Then off the ice is totally fine. I mean, I've been hanging out with the two of them and me, or remembering driving around Detroit with the new car of Fabian. And trust me, if he wouldn't like the both of us, he wouldn't bring us in his car.
We love Fabian here and his pants.
But Natalie, she is my rock. She is the fun girl. She's the one with whom to get crazy, but with head. And using your head. And, knowing the limit. Getting that far to not cross the line. And the fact that also I can speak French. So we had our own little world going on in Detroit. And every time something funny or unexpected happens when we are together. For example, that time we met Michael Phelps in Detroit, and
What did you guys do with Michael Phelps? Tell us about this time.
Yes.
Oh no!
You just met him. You just said hi.
At a bar, or
I think we're at a dinner together in this, I guess, French restaurant in Ann Arbor, and then it was it's kind of those lazy nights where you just eat and then go to bed. And usually during the weekends, I would sleep over at her place because I wouldn't often skate on Saturdays. And if she would skate just 1 hour, and then so just to stay together for the weekend. And that night we decided we wouldn't do anything, so we ate, and then with our doggy bag with the cheese, the camembert, which is the smelly one, in the doggy bag. We were going around, walking towards the car, and we passed this other restaurant, which was a bar restaurant, and it was 8:15 at night, 8 p.m. So she said, "Oh, the last week I went in that place, so I have to show you because it's all made of rocks and it's very nice." And I don't remember who brought her there. So she said, "Let's go down and I show you how it is." So we went down, and she said, "Why don't we hang out here a little bit?" So we stayed, and we'd steal the doggy bag of the smelly cheese around. And the moment we were going to walk out of the place, and it was around 9 p.m. This guy comes down, and I tell her, "This looks like Michael Phelps," and and then she's just "Oh no, it's not him." And I'm "No, I think this looks like him." And she's "Well, let's take a picture, because even if he looks we can always say he was
Yeah, just lie and be it was him.
Picture, and it was Michael Phelps. I don't know. So there was this line with the bodyguard in the front, and then a line of people with him, and then another bodyguard at the end of the line, and she just like racing in the middle of the line, and then walks in the privé, like with all these friends and other people. And I'm staying with this 2 doggy bag out of like the privé, looking, and you see her like talking in, like you can see with whom she's talking. And then flash is going on, and then she goes to the bodyguard who was standing in front of the door of the privé, which had no door. It was like just a rock like arch to get in. And he goes like, she's my friend, she can get in. And then the bodyguard goes like, okay, you can get in. I was like, what the heck? With whom did she talk? And then inside she was like, oh, this is Mike. And I was like, oh, that's Mike.
That's Mike, my friend Mike.
And then, yeah, no, we just stayed there, and I can talk like with other friends. I guess it was like the birthday of one of the closest friends of Michael Phelps, and like we made friends with other people, and yeah, and then even the day after we hang out all together. But it was like such a random thing that came out of nowhere from a night that was supposed to be like
a boring sleeping night.
Yeah, like one of those nights watching a movie at home.
Yeah. Well, I love it.
But yeah.
Well, a couple of the skaters from Detroit told us that Jason Dungeon is a very calm coach who never yells. But they say they have one distinct memory of him yelling, and it involved you talking through one of your run-throughs, complaining going into, out of, and landing a jump. That you went into the jump talking and coming out of the jump talking. So is this true, Valentina?
Maybe.
I feel like that maybe is a yes.
I don't have fresh memories of that day.
But it sounds about right.
Yeah.
But it's not that day. I talked during my program. I mean,
well, like
we
what
talk,
would you
even
say?
with Ondrej, he's gonna tell you we talk.
Okay. Like,
I mean, we talk. It's not like something that we talk with our coach, but I was probably complaining, being like, not being tired, because I never complain about that, but being like, or because I forgot to do something, or because I would just be like, you said I would have to do just the first part of the long, and then I would keep going, or or it would maybe said like, just do the first part, and then I would keep going, or something like that. But
so
yeah, I think
it is a possibility.
didn't stand when I was like talking. But I think also if you can talk, it means you are like lucid enough to keep going, and you are not tired, because if you have like the energy to talk, that means
you have the energy to do a second triple Lutz.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the beginning. What made you decide to do pairs?
Oh, for me? Oh, it's been a long time ago. Like that's we talking decades. No, it's actually like probably the first time we played with the idea when I was like 16 or 17, because I was not a great jumper. I was better than average, but I had some troubles with like loop, or I never learned triple axel. I landed like few quatos, but it was not consistent enough. So I always like everybody kind of pushed me into doing pairs back in Czech already. Like, so I skated with one girl in Czech, but it didn't work out, and there was always like partnership issues. I don't know. I don't even remember how that all went down. And then through a good friend of mine, Michal Brzezina, he was practicing at that time in Oberstdorf, and his coach and our main coach now, Franca Bianconi. So Karel Pfeiffer is the coach of Michal, and Franca is our coach, and they are very good friends. And
The guy with the glasses we're talking
yeah,
about.
exactly. And
Yeah.
they in summer they always did like the whole summer in Oberstdorf, the all Italian group. And at some point they were looking for a boy to do pairs, because they didn't have anyone in Italy. And I just was about to quit, or I was just like doing university or whatever at home, and they called me like, you want to come over, try out for like a couple of days. And then I went there. It became a couple of weeks, then it became a couple of months, and then 3 months later I was living in Italy. So it all went down pretty quickly. And for like the first 3 years, with my first partner, with Laura, we were training a lot in Oberstdorf, so it was good. But then and then on and on. Then I was a pair skater ever since. So it was like that.
So what made you want to skate with Valentina? How did this come about? Because I feel like your life could have been very calm, very normal.
Yeah, why then? That would be
Exactly.
so boring.
I know.
Actually, she did, because I wasn't convinced at all. Like, I was at some point. It's fun to jump next to each other. It's fun, like,
Well,
because for me, like, let's just let me finish once.
Yeah,
You
but
talk for 45
But
minutes.
why we were jumping next
Come
to each
on.
other? You have to tell, because I jump always in the barrier. So Franca put me next to him for that.
She can tell you everything. I mean, yeah, like, well, so she was like, well, I always wanted to do pairs. I always wanted to try, like, how it would look like. But for me, like, the first couple of weeks was more like, okay, just let's see. I didn't think that we would maybe, like, compete. I thought it would be fun to do some shows maybe, or something like that, if she would, like, in her spare time or whatever. But then, you know, like, the way she approaches the practice, and her whole, like, mindset as an athlete just makes sense to me, and we've learned a lot, and nothing, like, really could stop us last year. And she had a long injury. She came right back from it. So any doubt we had about, like, it's too late, we're too old, it's not enough time, you know, like, all that just disappears when you build your long program in October, and then in January it's a number 4 program in whole Europe. So that kind of, like, makes you think, okay, well, let's just try to keep going until this works, you know. That's it.
How did you find success so quickly last season? You talk about being 4th. You had at Europeans. You had a very good World Championships. So how did you guys gel so quickly in competition?
Experience.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like, nothing else. Because whatever we learn and whatever we can do in practice, we can do in competition. Because I've been doing pairs maybe 10 years internationally. She's been doing singles 20 years internationally. So we've been to Grand Prix, Olympics, and the atmosphere is always the same. So it's not like you are like, you know all the people. A little bit different was like that nobody really know what we were about to do. So that was the only pressure, but it was quite funny pressure. So we enjoyed it, I think.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I still, like, almost took off my skates before the long at Europeans and being like, I'm not gonna do this.
She's always making a scene like, I can do this, I'm so nervous, and then she goes on the ice and does everything. So me and Franca, we just laugh about it. It's just funny. She just needs to have her moment.
Competition.
Let her have the moment, and then she's gonna be fine.
Yeah, let her have it. Well, Valentina, how is it now competing as a pair skater? I mean, what is the difference when you're out there with Ondrej's partner? I mean, how is that different for you?
Well, when you give him your hand, it's like being home. So everything goes away. And it's just me and him. I mean, for what it is. At the beginning, it was hard. And I remember being here in July, because when we started to play around, it was like mid-June at camp, right? And then it took like that a couple of weeks
July,
where I was like, I love this. I love to do this. And I just came back from like England, where I did like my single programs with Robin Cousins. So like really wasn't in the picture to do that. And even Franca, our coach, was just like, Vali, like, you were a strong single and you are 28. Why do you want to do this? So like, it gave an entire new perspective of skating, because actually it makes you enjoy skating in a different way, because you don't have all the responsibilities, but you divide the responsibilities. And I remember coming here that I didn't know about what would like to be being a partner, a good partner, a partner that would work with someone else. And I got used to motivate myself by myself. And then now I had somebody beside me being like, you can do this. Like, it looks like difficult, but trust me, once you get there, it's gonna be so easy. So in my head, I had this, and next to me, I had someone helping me, and it was quite overwhelming. That was like the only thing. It was compromising with yourself, not with someone next to you. Everybody thinks it's compromising with your partner, but no, it's with yourself. So I had to like review everything about me and let him come into my bubble. And once that happened, of course, it's easy to go fast and because you speak the same language.
Well, mostly it's like she's in her bubble and I'm trying to snap her out of it, you know, like,
Yeah.
come here, you're with
Like,
me.
focus, yeah.
It's exactly like that.
Mhm,
And it's not like only in competition or like, because pairs look fun, you know, like then it looks easy once you do it. But trust me that probably from all the disciplines, it's the most hard work in your practice. There can be like, for me, like I think the singles are probably the most difficult because in competition you have to nail 8 jumps and it's just too hard. For pairs though, you just need everything, you know, like I can't even twist my finger because then I just cannot do anything. So you have to be aware that every single moment you can get injured because it's just so easy. You have 2 people, so if one is not feeling great, it's not going to work. So everything is hard, but then when you make it work, it's just much more rewarding because of how hard it is, you know.
And one thing that you said, what is different? Like a victory shared, it's truly so much different. Because the year we have been through, when we started, nobody trusted in us. I mean, you can surf the internet, you can go back like a year, and trust me, there was not a nice thing written about us. But what we really procrastinated and we went in our direction. So the thing that made us more proud is not being fourth at Europeans, is not being like winning the nationals after like 4 months. It's just that we really held on into each other and our team and believed in that. And then without money, we went through it because, of course, we were not in the national team. Like, rules are rules. If you win nationals or if you are top 3 at nationals, then you get into the national team. And you have to make like minimum points, technical for the short, for the long. But we were not even in the, we have an Italian standing also to make the European and world team. And we were not in that standing. So we said right before nationals that if nothing would change, we couldn't be able to go forward because I mean.
So then at the end, the results were kind of important because if not, we'll probably not continue.
But like standing there after like a clean, we did a clean long at nationals. Yeah, sort of.
I'll give it to you.
For me, like I'm like, you know, like for her, like what that was what I would expect as a clean long. Then you know, most of the time I'm too much ahead of what we are doing at the moment, and I'm trying to improve every time. Like once we learn something, I'm already with another idea. So it's really like it never been easy to keep up with me, and I think if someone can do it, it's her. So then we'll see what's going to happen next.
Well, you talk about this, and you're known for your side-by-side triplettes. So what other triples are you guys working on? We saw the Sal last season as well. Are those the 2 that you'll be doing this year?
Yeah, definitely.
Sal
like,
for now,
we are. The thing is that now we are focusing more on the pair stuff. Like finally, because we still need to put all the hard elements together, especially like twist.
I was going to say, how has the split triple twist been going? Because we saw the double last season. Will you be doing a triple?
Yeah, but like it's going faster than what we were thinking.
It's work in progress, you know. Like it needs to always go through stages because you first need to get the girl comfortable going into the fast rotation. Then now with the new rules, like if there is no clean catch, you know, like a triple twist, everybody with a little bit of experience can just you know, like spin it all the way around. But without the catch, it doesn't make sense to put it in a program because you're not going to get any points.
And we still wear a helmet and a elbow protection, so because I opened a huge hole in his head, like
the come first on, just don't. It wasn't that bad. It's like, you know, but the thing is that if you find out that there is a possibility that it's not high enough, so it just like the elbows are pretty close. So you just keep a little protection, so then you can try every day, you know, because I can do a twist, I can take a hit, she can take a hit. The problem is that when you hit your elbow, try a rotate and hit a rock with your elbow, and then the next day I ask you, oh, you want to do it again? You don't want to do it again.
No.
So that's basically for now. It's like you need to get it as comfortable as you can.
Confidence, yeah.
You know, so it's more about.
And then last
confidence.
year I just learned the things I needed, because with the injury, like we had really few weeks to put everything together. I was still not able to do a lasso, so we started standstill in the program. So at the end of the year, when we were taking speed, we didn't have enough music to do the lasso. So everything was on
Work
the run.
in progress,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So this year I still to put the triple twist. So this is a huge work, a technical work. That's why we came here for quite a long time to learn it like the proper way. And then I'm not able to do like the outside.
Well, the back outside Desparo is the
yeah.
short program Desparo for next year. So
And
that's
then
a lot of work.
On new leaves, and I'm not get used to be lifted, even if I enjoy it, but
It's
still
new. It's something that, yeah. Well, you talk
No,
about...
I'm a pro, so we worked with.
Yeah, and then you will just remember her words when you see our lift from short program next year, and then I'll ask you if after a year of doing just press lifts and stuff, if you were able to
do that,
if I tell you you know what, I just take you upside down, grab you by one arm, and you just trust me, okay? I'm just gonna spin a little bit.
But that's how he does, because I'm not a chicken, but for some things, I can jump in the sea from a rock of 10 meters and then be scared of jumping from 3 meters, okay? So sometimes he just lifts me up and does it, and he catch me, and I'm like, what happened? What did I do? Why? Because just to not get me scared, because sometimes you explain and then it would be okay, I'm lost, let's just do it. You do it safely, just tell me what to do. That's why sometimes we talk too, because sometimes I tell him, since we
That's
don't
when
have...
your brain gets in the way. That's the problem.
Well, you talk about Valentina not being scared. Have you thought about any throw quads in the future?
Yeah, Jillian's doing tons of quads. What are we
I
going
would
to see this
love
from
to, but we are not ready yet.
Well, the thing is that
I'm crazy
now when we are in the ring where you see the most quads for a day, because with Megan and Eric you see quads here and there, and it's really solid. You see that it's doable, but you must be very clever about it. They learned everything. They did the hardest jumps first. They got their great triple twist, so they had every single element, and at the point where they had nothing else where to go, then they took the risk and tried the quads. So I think that the quad is the last thing to do. I would rather first attempt I don't know, a triple combination, side by side, which can be risky, before we would try to do quad, because the amount of points you can get, you always have to calculate, the probabilities of, if we're gonna try triple side by side for 2 months, probably nobody will get injured. With the quad throw, you can get injured the first try, and your season's over. So that's the only concern,
But that's how I got injured, because last year we learned the throw triple sal here. And I was one of my favorite throws. So I just went full speed, and I didn't care of him, telling him, just throw me last, because I'm not able to. And I wasn't able to hold the landing. So my knee went down this way. So it can happen in everything. So the real difference in between singles and pairs is that now, compared to before, I'm practicing less, basically. But at the point that when we get tired, it can get very dangerous. While in singles, it cannot.
Because with tiredness also comes a little bit of misattention. It's not that you want to, but by the time you're tired, your body don't respond as fast as you would like to. So the injury is like right there behind every corner, you know. So you just need. It's important to be clever about it.
And it's
so.
important we are like the same, that we would like keep going and going and going. We know our limits, but we are too passionate about everything and wanting to learn everything and like craving to learn something new.
Well, I want everything perfect right away. That's more.
Well, but
of
that's
the
another
problem.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
You're
so,
craving. I'm there. I want it.
I want it now. Yeah.
It done. You know.
so
Well, speaking of passion, Valentina, what can you tell us about your programs this season? Because they weren't flirty enough for me last year. I want your real personality to come out.
we don't want like we're not gonna tell you the musics because we have to wait a little bit, but you will understand why.
Am I
And
gonna like this program?
what?
Am I gonna like this program?
They are totally different, Dave.
Okay.
Like you have to be open-minded to watch these programs. You're gonna like the short,
Okay.
but it's not the flirty type.
Okay.
But you are gonna love the short.
How about the long?
Well, the
You may
long
not
is
like
a work in progress. There is. We are working now with Hugo with the music and
the studio unisons where we had like a wonderful like the Instagram like video you saw. It was like a road tripping to Hugo to Studio Unisons to work on our musics to make them more spicy.
Okay.
And
We
we
like
had like 3 hours like work on it and dancing around with Hugo and it can be a really good thing, but it needs a lot of work. So we're gonna show it when it's gonna be really ready. I mean,
yeah. As good as it can look when it's ready, as bad it can look when it's not ready.
Yeah.
So
it's one of those
Yeah.
fun programs, but they have to be skated like in a good way because otherwise they lose their purpose, you know?
Well, as we look ahead to next season, Jillian told Dave that she thinks you're going to be medal contenders in the 2016-2017 season. So for this season coming up, what are your goals? Do you have concrete
Yeah,
well,
goals?
we're
you
gonna
know-
have fun.
Yeah.
That's for
That's
sure.
all that matters.
I think that when he said like he thought we would more do shows or else like that's always our motto. Okay, if we keep having fun, we keep doing this. If you're starting to becoming too frustrating, but not because we can't do things or we can't get things done, but because we are not having fun anymore, then we're gonna do shows. But so far,
There's always so many options, you know. Like it's not like that. You have to just like be miserable or whatever. Like until our bodies work the way they work now, and we can still overcome because there are difficult moments everywhere, like every time. So,
but let's be honest, we are competitive.
whenever, yeah.
So we are competitive, and we are not those that go and say, okay, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, this year we probably are not going to be the contenders, so
But
let's just take it easy.
We
That's
raised the
probably
bar
not
this year
gonna be
because the
the-
programs are gonna be like more difficult. The short is gonna have like the lots side by side.
Oh yeah,
so,
that we can tell you that we.
So the lots side by side, and then there's the triple twist, which is new. If we can make it right away, or probably it depends how everything goes. We need to do step by step, so we cannot think of like putting pressure on ourselves because there's enough pressure on the practice now. But so far, we have been working very well this summer because we had. Sorry, I have to. We had
She
no
always
problems.
says that. I'm always like, I think we could have worked harder.
Yeah, of
And
course
so-
you can
so
always,
this is,
but we're not. As I said, we are not 16 anymore. So I mean, you can work very hard, but the risk is that the day after you cannot get anything done if you work so hard one day. So we really need to take it and take care of ourselves to not risk to get injured too.
Pretty smart.
So, and we don't want other obstacles on the way like last year. This year we had this summer, and last year we didn't have the summer of work because we started mid-June joking around, and then real work in July when we came here. When they said, because we came to Richard and Bruno to have the confirmation that this thing could work, and they were the only people that could tell us if we could, and they said this can be a good project if you work in this way, if your mindset is this way, and we trusted them, and they were right. So So I think our team, like our Italian team, which is small but like very efficient, and our Canadian team, which we really, they are a huge part of our success because they were the ones pushing and they were the ones believing too, and so yeah, this is gonna be our base until we keep to compete. Yeah.
Speaking of bases, Ondrej, how do you manage? You recently got married to Anna Capolini, so how do you manage?
Yes.
Trains with Marina sometimes. You're between the two training centers, so how do you negotiate all of that?
Yeah, well, now this is basically about summer, and the next time we're not gonna come for such a long period of time. You know, now when we really needed to work on some elements, you need the consistency of the technical preparation. So it couldn't be just like 2.5 weeks because it's just not enough. Because by the way you start understanding, you come back home and then, you know, everything just doesn't work like that. So this was really long. Like a few days back, I was just thinking that we've spent apart more time than we actually spent together since we got married. You know, so it was not a great moment, but. Anna just came to visit me, visit us for like 2 days now because they were done with her practice in Detroit. So on the way back, she flew to Montreal, stayed here like a couple of days, and but she's already back home training. So
and then also
like
another
really
thing of like the partnership is that like we wanted to live, you know, still live our life, and so we agreed on the fact that family first too.
Well, yeah, because the thing is that I told Valentina right away that because I proposed to Anna last year when I thought it, I'm just gonna like slowly shift into teaching, and that I'm not gonna continue. Maybe I would just do some shows and stuff.
And then at this point, Anna would say, "And then Valentina, you appeared."
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly. So it's all your fault. Well, by the way, like it's not a big deal. Anna's really happy for what we're doing, and but the thing was that we're gonna try to work it out together, and we always talk about everything, and after this transfer, then when we come back to Italy, we basically train in the mountains, which is really close to where Anna and Luca are training. So
yeah, 20 minutes apart, so we can.
I mean, we've been together. She moved to Lyon for like 1.5 years, so we are used to like travel a lot to see each other. 400 kilometers in a weekend or 800, it's not such a big deal. So now when we are married, we just I have to figure it out, you know. So.
Well, we wish you guys the best of luck this season coming up. We were such fans of yours last year. We can't wait to see your new programs, and it's just been a pleasure having you guys on the skating lesson. So thank you.
Thank you.